Let's start with Microsoft Teams and Power Platform, how they empower everyone by giving the insights. Okay, so before we get deep into the Teams and Power Platform, I want to take a step back and understand why Microsoft believes that these two tools belongs together. So to help you understand that, I want you to start imagine a world where you can use a bunch of different tools together. So I want you to imagine taking your integrated business processes and line of business applications like your Power Apps, and then automated routine task like your Power Automate, and then be able to access the partner apps that you already use and love with your unstructured communication and collaboration like your chat and your meetings. So I want you to imagine all those things together in a single hub. So even Microsoft believes that this hub, this place where you can combine all of these things together into a single place wherein you're not bouncing between different URLs or bookmarks. And this place is Microsoft Teams, where you can collaborate with your team better, and everything will be at one place, which is Microsoft Teams. Okay, so with Microsoft Teams, we can use it for basic operations like chat and collaboration, for conducting our meetings and calling our colleagues. But the best part comes when even we can integrate our applications and workflows within Microsoft Teams. So to get started, like let's see like how we can streamline all those business processes along with Microsoft Teams and Power Platform. So I hope that each one of you has started using or is already using Microsoft Teams. Again, there are many productivity apps like SharePoint, OneDrive for Business, even Outlook, uh, Trello, and many others which you have been using for your productivity. And again, on using those, we create our departmental tools, processes, workflows, like the processes and the custom apps. But the main power comes in when we have the Power Platform utilizations along with all of these systems. So we can use Power Automate, Power BI, even Power Apps to get done most of the things. And this is where we can integrate the apps, we can perform the process automation, and we can even carry out the business intelligence by making use of Power Platform within Microsoft Teams. Okay, so just a quick introduction of Microsoft Power Platform. Like it is a low code or a no code platform that spans across Office 365, Microsoft Azure Dynamics 365, and even standalone applications. So mainly it consists of Power BI, which we can use for business analytics, then Power Apps, which we can use for creating Canvas apps or model apps for any kind of an application development. Then we can use Power Automate to carry out process automation, or having the flow of your work done across your Microsoft 365. And then we do have a recent addition called as a Power Virtual Agents, by which we can create kind of AI related bots. Then there are many data connectors by which we'll be able to connect to different systems. Then AI Builder, which helps you to have the AI capabilities built within your applications. And then we have a CDS or Common Data Service, which help you to uh, get the data from various systems or consolidate at one place. So that was about Microsoft Power Platform. And then let's see like how we can use this Power Platform and Teams together. So in a nutshell, we can use the Power BI in Teams as a tab at the moment, and then we can use this uh, Power Apps as a tab or a personal app inside Microsoft Teams, and then we can use this Power Automate or Flow inside Teams for alerting the messages, even posting the adaptive cards to the Teams, and then use the Flow bot and create the Flow apps. So we will go through each of those, how we can utilize this Power Platform for a better integration with Teams. So firstly, let's look into adding the Power BI reports to Microsoft Teams. So adding these Power BI reports to Microsoft Teams, like where the people collaborate, helps data-driven decisions, making become a part of your routine. And when a tab is added to your channels or chats inside your Microsoft Teams, it is very much easier for everyone to find and track the data they need to achieve their objectives. So it is also kind of an good way to manage change within your organizations. And as a new people join a team, the data they need is right there and ready to use for them. So this is how the Power BI tab for Microsoft Teams looks like. So we have this Power BI report, which is right now fitting inside Microsoft Teams. So let's see like how we can use that. So for that, let me go to my Teams application. And if you go to your applications for finding those apps, here you can find the Power BI. Okay. So here we have this Power BI. Once you click that, you can add this Power BI to your team or to a chat for an individual conversation. So let's try to add it to a team. And then we can search for any of the team. Let's say I'm trying to add this Power BI report to Busted Minds teams in a general channel. So with that, we can just click set up a tab, and then our Power BI report should be ready there. So once we are connected to our teams and to the channel, the next thing is that we'll have to specify the report which we want to show inside our tab. So for that, we can select the workspaces or where our Power BI reports are, and then we can select that particular report. And yeah, that's it. So that particular Power BI report will be inside your Microsoft Teams. So the new tabs allows you to picking the paginated reports in addition to the interactive reports. So here we have multi-tab report, which you are seeing right now. So when a report is picked, the new tab name or the tab name reflects the report name. So the name can be changed before saving the tab, and the tab appears at the top of your channel or onto a chat. So for example, if I again go back here and we try to find out Power BI again. Okay. And here when we configure this particular, okay, let me again choose the same channel and click set up a tab. So okay, after this, right. So here first thing is that everyone who you want to share this particular tab should have access to that particular report. Otherwise, here is a link by which you can go to the Power BI application, and from there you can start giving the access to all those users. So you can add the tabs which are within your workspace, or which are within any of the apps, or the reports which are created by anyone else but shared with you. Okay, so those are the three areas by which you will be able to add those Power BI reports. So let us go back to this Power BI report, and then let's look at this particular report. So here we have multiple tabs by which we'll be able to navigate through, and as we navigate, this is kind of the same behavior as we get natively with any of the Power BI application or Power BI report. Okay, so okay, so then the question comes like, then what about giving your colleagues access to the report? What about licensing? And then how you can encourage a data culture using this Power BI tab. So let's come to the first tab, like first point, giving your colleagues access to the report. So whenever we are adding a Power BI tab, it gives your colleagues the permission to see the reports. So like I mentioned, so you will need to reshare the permission on the report to share it. And if the report you choose is in an app, you will need to update that particular app. And it is always recommended to use security or Office 365 group to secure reports and workspaces. So that way, as people change in your team or within your organization, they automatically have access to that particular report. Next thing is licensing. So existing Power BI licensing applies to reports embedded within Microsoft Teams. So to view the reports in Power BI tabs, user can view the report if they have Pro license or the report is in a workspace assigned to Power BI premium capacity. Then let's see like how we can encourage the data culture using Power BI tab. So the Power BI tab is another great way to build the habit of data-driven decision making. So adding all of these reports where you can collaborate, help coworker find the useful data, and then the tools and techniques help you to get your team to start discussing and using this data very much often. So for example, if I move back to our Power BI report, here firstly that we have a conversation tab or conversation icon. So um, this conversation icon expands the tab conversation and just makes it very much easy to ask question of your team and share insights you find. So everyone in the channel sees these particular discussions and can offer their thoughts. So you can start a discussion from here, and then you can start discussing about this particular report, and everyone will be able to collaborate here itself for this particular report. Next thing is that we have this refresh or this reload tab. So this reload tab will not kind of reload your report, but it only reloads that particular tab. So it doesn't refresh the data in your report. So for example, in order to have a refresh of data, you will have to go back to the Power BI to do that. But this one will just help you to reload that particular tab. And then we have this globe icon, which opens the report directly within Power BI. And this allows you to do more with your data, like exporting to PowerPoint or PDF, or print that particular report, analyze that report better in Excel, and many more things. And then we have these three dots where you will find the handy features that help you to copy a deep link to this particular tab that you created here for Power BI and send it to your colleagues in other channels or chats or even in the email, so that they know that you have added this particular tab, and you can or they can find it very much easily. Okay, so the next thing is very few tips and tricks to make these decisions more often. So firstly, that whenever you add this particular Power BI tabs to channel within your team, share the link to that particular tab to carry out that discussion. Secondly, ask questions about the data in the team's conversations and include a link or a deep link to that particular Power BI tab. Thirdly, like you can put a link to the Power BI tab in recurring meetings and make reviewing data as an agenda item. And then lastly, you can even add this Power BI tab to chats with individuals or within groups. And especially if this data show shared goals, you can track that easily and together. So it is not like that your Power BI report will just stay there as a tab, but you can still collaborate by by implementing these tips and tricks to make a better decision that you can make out of this particular Power BI report. Then let's see like how we can integrate Power Apps with Microsoft Teams. Okay, so Microsoft's vision of bringing Power Apps to the Teams is to allow modern workspaces to customize their experiences within Teams. So Microsoft have added this functionality to transfer the contextual information from the teams or channels into the Power Apps application. So we are already using this Teams or Microsoft Teams to collaborate with various team members for sharing the files and information. And then even you can integrate with all of your different office products. But by connecting to Power Apps, you can build custom forms and applications to support your everyday work needs. So the recent updates to Microsoft Teams allows you to add Power Apps as a first class app within Teams. We will see what is meant by that. And this allows us to not only add it as another tab within your team, but also add it as a personal tab. So firstly, like how the Power Apps application looks like. So you can connect your team with the data that they use most using this app which are created within Power Apps. So for that, you can again go back to the apps and try to find out Power Apps. And one thing you will notice here that there is no space in Power Apps. There is no Power Space app, but it is still referring to Power Apps. From here, you will be able to add this to a team or to a chat. So let's say we will add it to a team. And then from here, we can probably add it to as a tab. Okay. So before this, let me show you the app which I created. So let me go to Power Apps. So all of the Power Apps which are within your tenant can be shown inside your Microsoft Teams. So if I go to my apps, so here we have this Contoso site tracking app. So it is very much simple app that gets the data from an Excel which is uploaded to my OneDrive for business. And there we have a columns wherein all of this information is there. And this one will just show the information about the buildings and their picture. So very much simple app, and even this will allow you to create a new item, browse through each of those items, and uh, even edit and delete those kind of things. Basic CRUD operations on this building operations. So we are trying to use this particular app inside our Microsoft Teams. So for that, I will again go back to Microsoft Teams and to the Power Apps app, and we can select this particular app and click save. I don't want to post it to a channel. So once we do, this will be added as an tab inside our Microsoft Teams. So again, here we have all those options for conversations, refreshing that or reloading that tab, go back to our Power Apps portal, and then again get the deep link to start to have a conversation with our Power Apps. Okay, so this is how we can use these particular Power Apps. But right now, if you have observed that I was or at least I had to go to this particular app, locate that, and then I was able to add it. But for example, if we want that our app should be available here within this particular listing as a first class app, then how we can do it. So let's see like how we can use this or how we can add our Power Apps as a first class app within Teams. So okay, so let's look at this. So whenever we go to the Power Apps portal, we have something called as add to Teams. So it will give us one zip file which we will upload to our Microsoft Teams, and from there we will be able to see that particular app as a first class app inside our Microsoft Teams. So let's see this particular thing in action. So we'll go back to our Power Apps. Let me close this window which I don't want. And once you select this particular app, here you can see add to Teams. So let me click add to Teams, and here the instructions are clearly mentioning that review and download the app, which is a zip file, and then just upload this particular app as a custom app to Teams, and then this particular app will be available as a first class app within your Microsoft Teams. So once we click this download app, this particular app will be downloaded, which is just a zip file, and then you can come back to Microsoft Teams. Let me close this, and you can click upload a custom app. So once we again click upload a custom app, there are two options available. First one is upload for me or my teams, which will enable me just to add this particular app as a personal app to me and to the teams where I belongs. The second option is upload to my tenant. That means this particular app will be available here so that everyone can use it. So let's explore both the options. So I will click upload for me and my teams. Okay, so here I will have to go to download where my uh, okay, so this is the Contoso site tracking option available. So I will just open it. And again, from here, we will be able to add this particular app to a team or as a personal tab. So let's say if I directly click here as an add, it will get added to me as a personal app. Okay. So now that you can see that this particular app is available to me as a personal app. And the personal app, that means the things which are personal to a particular user, which can be configured onto this left rail. So this is where I can see those personal apps. So this particular app is now available to me as a personal app. So let's see the next option or the other option. So let me uninstall this particular app. That's fine. And again, let me go back to uploading that particular app. But this time we will upload it for an entire tenant or entire organizations. So let us select this one again. Click here. So, yeah. So now that you can see that this particular app is now available for us as a first class app. So for example, if I, so the somehow the icon is broken. I don't know, it is the same way like every time it is broken. But now that this particular app is available as a first class app, so anyone who is within your organization can go to this particular app, and then from here he can add it to the teams or to the personal app. So now that you can see that this particular app is now available to me, but now that this app I added from the first class app option which was available to me. Okay. Uh, the next thing which comes to our mind is like it is good that we can add this particular app as a first class app and we can add it to our personal app. But then again, there are various apps which are available within organization. For example, HR apps, leave apps, or uh, get to know kind of an apps which should be available to each of the users whenever they log into Microsoft Teams. Because until and unless I go to the apps which are available to me within that particular team, I won't be able to know about it. So what we want now is that everyone who is using Teams, they should able to see this particular Contoso app as a personal app into their teams. So let's see like how we can configure this part. Okay, so for that we will have to go to the Teams admin center. So let me open up the admin centers. And let us go to the Teams admin center. So in the Teams admin center, we have something called as Teams apps. And from here, we can, so first let's have a look at this manage apps. So from here, you will be able to manage all of the apps which are within your Microsoft Teams. So from here, you can even upload it to be available directly within your tenant. So the main thing which we want to have a look at is how we can make those app as a app directly available into the personal app. So for that, you can go to these setup policies, and then here we have something called as global or org-wide default policies. So all of those pinned apps which you can see onto this left are being defined from here. Sorry, from here. So now that we can click add apps, and since our app is available as a first class app within Microsoft Teams, we should be able to locate this. So now that you can see that this particular app is available. So once we click add and click add again, This particular app is now available to each of the user as a personal app um, within Microsoft Teams. Because until and unless you don't do it, this particular app won't be available to each of the user in your Microsoft Teams. And again, from here you can maybe select this app, make it move up or down based on how important that app is for your organization. So let's say this Contoso site tracking is the very much important app for your organizations. Maybe you can take it very much up the order, just behind or just beside calendar, and then for each of those user it will start appearing just beside this calendar. Okay, now that I will have to refresh it, which I don't want to, but this is how you will be able to add that particular power app as a first class app. So we discuss kind of three options. Firstly, that if you just have a power app and power app report which you want to add as a tab, then you can directly add it as a tab. Maybe I can go back to that particular option. So this option will just allow you to add your power app as a tab inside your Microsoft Teams channel. The second option is you can add this Power Apps as a first class app inside your Microsoft Teams. But again, there we have two options, just for you and your teams, and the second one is for the entire organization. So again, once you select the second option for the entire organization and you want compulsory to appear this particular app within the personal app, you can follow this approach. You can go to the policies for your Teams app and then pin that particular app as the personal app for your organization. And from there, you will be able to take advantages of your personal apps. Okay. The next thing is like, yeah. Okay, so before I dive into this one, there are questions like when to update the app. So for example, let's say we updated an app inside Power Apps, then do I have to update that particular app inside Microsoft Teams? So the answer is no, this will be automatically updated. But again, the question is then when to update the packages. So first, so the thumb rule is that re-upload your package only if there is a change in icon, title, or a description. So you can have your own ALM completely different for Power Apps as you update that Power App, but once it's registered within Microsoft Teams, the only time you need to re-update it in the Teams is when you want to update the icon, title, and description for that particular app. Otherwise, there is no need to have the update action done, because what happens under the hood is if I go to the apps and if I click this uh, or okay, if I go to App Studio and if I go to Manifest Editor, okay, so at least here all of your apps will start appearing, and the only thing whenever you want to make a change here is there is a change inside your title, icon, or a description. Okay, so you don't have to perform any update action to update your app within Microsoft Teams. Okay, so then next, let's come to the next discussion point is like how we can integrate this Power Virtual Agent, which is again a part of Power Apps within Microsoft Teams. Okay, so this Power Virtual Agent is a no-code guided graphical interface solution that empowers every member of your team to create rich and conversational chatbots that can easily integrate with Microsoft Teams platform. So this, so let's say we will again go back to Power App and let's go to chatbots, which is our Power Virtual Agents. Okay, so I already have one bot created. Otherwise, you can go to this new chatbot and you can create a new bot. So we have this bot created here, which is a order support bot, which help us creating an order tracker that can take in some identified information and dynamically look up order status. Okay, so let me go to that particular bot and explain you. Okay, just taking a bit of time. So even we can add this Power Virtual Agent bots inside our Microsoft Teams, and let's see like how we can add those. Because for example, if I go back to Microsoft Teams and try to search for Power Virtual Agent, there is nothing like that which we can use. So so definitely we will have to make some other configurations to make this Power Virtual Agent bots work within our Microsoft Teams. So now that um, we are to the Power Virtual Agents homepage, and here we can define maybe topics. So let me go to the topics, and here we can create new topics. So in this case, since I wanted to track the order which the customer has placed, I have created one topic called as order tracker. So the only intention of this particular bot is that the customer will be able to track his order. So what customer can or the end user can ask this particular bot is like maybe what is my order status? When can I expect my order to arrive? Has my order shipped, or check the order status? So with this, this particular bot will be able to justify that okay, this is the some kind of an order tracking, and this particular bot has to chip in there and start replying to that particular information. Okay, so let's go to this authoring canvas to see how that bot is designed. Okay, it might take some time. So let me just switch back to, okay, so this is how the authoring experience looks like. You can create your own bots, and then, okay, let us go back here. Okay, so here we have all of those triggering phases which are defined. So these triggering phases are used as an example to our natural language understanding model. So it understands what type of user utterances should trigger this particular topic. So these are four trigger phases which we phrases that we defined, and then we can message we can keep a message like that particular bot will greet that user saying I can help answer questions about your order. And then here we have added one question. So from here you can ask a question, call for an action, or show a message. So from here we have added this ask a question, where we are simply asking the user like, do you know your order number? And then we are giving him a multiple choices options. First one is no, and second one is yes. So for example, if he doesn't remember his order number, in that case what we are doing is we are asking him the next question, like what is his email address. So we are taking that information inside our variable called as email underscore address, and then from here we are triggering one Power Automate flow to which we are giving this information. So let me click here so that even I can explain you that flow, which is very basic flow, nothing fancy in it. It just takes the email address which user has given, and it just simply returns this hard-coded order number. In real case scenarios, you could have looked up this particular email address into your database and try to find that particular matching order number and the delivery date. But just for this demonstration purpose, I'm simply returning hard-coded order number and the delivery date. So let us go back to this virtual agent, and that particular flow will return us the order number and delivery date based on the email address which has been passed. And then we are simply showing the message to the end user saying that we were able to locate your order, and here is your order number, and on this particular date it is expected to be delivered. And then that's it. We are ending our conversation. Okay. So this is very much simple bot. We don't have to do anything fancy here. So next thing is that we should publish this particular bot so that it will be available to everyone. So since there is no change and I already have published it, I will not republish it. But if you are creating your bot for a first time, or if there are any changes which or edits which you have made to your bot, you can go ahead and publish this particular bot. The next thing is that once we have our bot with us, now that we want to uh, add this particular chatbot to our Microsoft Teams. So what we can do is we can click go to channels. So it is not just about Microsoft Teams, but there are various channels which are available to which you can embed this particular bot. So we will stick to Microsoft Teams. So let me click that. So once we select this Microsoft Teams, it will give you an app ID, or if there is no, you can or you can generate the app ID by a button here. So we have this particular app ID with us. So the next thing what we want to do is we want to go back to our Teams, and then inside App Studio we can add our bot to Teams. So for example, if you don't see App Studio, again it is available as an app inside Microsoft Teams. So go to your Teams apps and then um, install that particular App Studio. And since we have the app available with us, what we can do is we can go back to our Microsoft Teams. Let me go to App Studio, and then from here we can go to creating a new app, and we can call this particular app as a Contoso order tracker bot maybe, and full name. Okay, I will just type this one. And then this app ID probably you can regenerate or use the one which was here, which is this one 58700, which I'm taking here, or even you can generate this one, not an issue. Package name we can keep it same like com.microsoft.teams.dev app, okay, and the version will be 1.0.0. Shorter discussion we can just have it as Power Virtual Agent maybe. Oh, and then in the description you can have the long description about what this particular bot does. So we can just say this bot status of your order. Okay, the name will be name of your this is just the developer information. So we can just mention Contoso, or for your organization you can mention that organization details. We don't have to specify the MPN ID. For example, if you have any of the partner information, you can specify that network ID here, but we don't have at the moment. And I will simply put contoso.com/privacy as the privacy statement and terms of use. The next thing that we'll have to do is since we are configuring this particular app as a bot, I will go to bots tab, and then here we can click setup. We can just name this particular bot maybe Contoso order tracker bot, and then the only thing which is available with bot right now is the personal scope. So we will have to select this particular personal scope, and then we can click create bot. Okay, so it might take some time to validate the information and take us to the next stage. Okay, usually this doesn't take that long, but I know in demos it take longer time. Okay, so once it is here, um, next thing that we will have to do is we'll have to go to these domains and permissions, and in this domain we'll have to add something as token dot botframework.com. So this is the domain which is taken care by PVS, Power Virtual Agents or bots. So we will have to specify that particular token here, like token.botframework.com as the valid domain. Okay. So once it is there, I think we are mostly done with our app. Let me go to test and distribute. Okay. Right. So here is just one warning saying that full name should not contain Microsoft or any other Microsoft product names. But yeah, that's fine. For a time being, we can ignore that. But if you want to rectify, you can again come back to here. And since we added this Power Virtual Agent, this error is there. Probably just try to get rid of that too. And then again come back to test and distribute. But okay, that's fine, not an issue. We can go ahead, click install and click add. Okay, so this particular Power Virtual Agent bot which we created will be available to us as a bot. So now you can see that we have this available as a personal tab inside our Microsoft Teams. So here, let us go back to our tab one more time, and let's have a look at the topic that we created. So here we created 4 phrases. So first one is like, what is my order status? So let us start our conversation with what is my order status. So it is not very much necessary that all of the phrases that we define inside our Power Virtual Agent phrases should exactly match with what PVA are designed for, but those should be kind of an analogous to what user can type. So okay, I'm just waiting for my tab to respond, but okay, looks like not a good day for me. Not yet, but okay. Let's maybe wait for some more time to try to get some answer from this particular bot. Come on, bot, wake up. No, no, no. Let me try to send hi, just in case he replies to hi. No. Okay. Right. So let us try to see, for example, if this one works here. So if I go to authoring canvas, no, nothing here. So for example, if I type here, what is my order status? So this is how ideally that bot should have behaved. So this one is just sending that particular information to the bot, or maybe some issue with my bot itself. But okay. Okay, now that it is asking like, do you know your order number? I will say no, I don't know that. And okay, now that it is falling to our this branch, so it's asking for our email address. So let me specify my email address here, which is anyways not useful because we are just returning our hard-coded order number and a tracking number. So did that answer your question? We'll say yes, and we will end our conversations. Again, it will ask for the experience, but same kind of experience I was expecting over here. So let me go back here, and even I know that I created one app here, which is this one. Okay, let me try with this. Oh no, this wasn't the one. This is a Power App. So let me again go back to my App Studio. Okay, here was one Power Order Tracker which was here. So this was the app which I just used before this demo. So let me try to see if this one helps me. So if I click install, click add, even this particular bot should get added to my teams. And okay, yeah, so this is the bot which I used last time. So let me just say hi and let us see if it replies back to us. Yeah, okay, so he's saying I'm a virtual agent, I can help you with account questions, order, store information. So we will ask what is my order status. So again, it should ask us the same kind of a question which we just saw inside PVA. Okay, this one is taking too much long. Okay, so okay, even here he is asking the same question. Do you know your order number? So I will say no, I don't know. So again, it will ask me to have my email address, which I can specify here again. So irrespective of any of the email address what we give here, it will return us that static data which we feed into that particular bot. So okay, so here again it is replying us back with that particular order number and when it is expected to arrive. Okay, so did that answer your question? We will say yes. So bot will end its conversation by asking us to rate the experience with 1 to 5. Okay, so this is the best bot which we have designed. We'll say 5, and that will be the end of conversations. So this is how we can no, no thanks. We don't need anything else from the bot. So this is how we can create the seamless experience of integrating those Power Virtual Agent bots inside Microsoft Teams. So we didn't have to even go back to Power Virtual Agents to look out for any of the information, but we can get similar kind of an experience within our Microsoft Teams. Okay. Mm, yeah, so let's come to the limitations of PVS. So the first limitation is currently only the personal scope is supported for Microsoft Teams. Second thing is the icon and name of your bot on Microsoft Teams is not customizable by Microsoft Teams App Studio. And when site loading and published to the Microsoft Teams tenant app catalog. So those has to be defined inside your Power Virtual Agents. You cannot customize those inside your Microsoft Teams. And then whenever we remove this particular Microsoft Teams publication channel, it might take a few minutes before the bot becomes unreachable by users on Microsoft Teams. So for example, if I remove the um, publication channel from Teams, so it will not take immediate action or immediate effect, but it will be still there for some time, maybe 5 to 15 minutes, and then it will go off. Okay. Yeah, but again, one more point I wanted to discuss here for this Power Virtual Agent is like what about the data? So by adding your chatbot to Microsoft Teams, some of the data such as bot content, even end user chat content, that will be shared with Microsoft Teams. So meaning that your data will flow outside of your organization's compliance and geographic or regional boundaries. So this thing you will have to take care whenever you are integrating your bot with Microsoft Teams. Then lastly that we will see like how we can integrate Power Automate with Microsoft Teams. So Power Automate again integrates seamlessly within Microsoft Teams, and with this integration right from within Teams you can create and manage Power Automate flows. You can review your received and sent approvals. You can launch your flows and you can even take advantages of Flowbot, which we will uh, just see in some time. Okay, so firstly, that imagine that you are maybe a chief compliance officer at legal department of Contoso, and you want to send out an approval request whenever a new document is uploaded to the legal folder in a SharePoint document library. Um, and then to inform the approvers and ensure everyone has visibility into any of the feedback, you want to notify your teammates on Microsoft Teams. So with Microsoft or with this Power Automate integration in Microsoft Teams, you can quickly create a flow and boost your team's productivity. So let's see like how we can do that. Okay. So for that, I will again go back to my um, Teams. And from here we can go to the App Studio, and from here we can oh, sorry, in the apps, and then we will try to find out the flow. So means everyone knows that Flow has been renamed to Power Automate, but still the app which is here, it is still referring as a Flow, not a Power Automate. So okay, so let's click that Flow, and from here you can add this particular flow to your team. Okay, so let's click and try to get it to any of the team. So let's say again I will add it to Busted Minds, and we will set it up that. Okay, I don't want to post it to channel, and click save. So just a moment, let me, or okay, that's fine. Okay, so now that we have this flow here, and what you can see here is that we have a new tab available to us. So let me go back here. So with this new tab, we will be able to create a new flow inside Microsoft Teams. So I will click create from template, and once we are here, let me close these conversations. So you can see that uh, automatically it detects that it is inside Microsoft Teams, and by default it shows us only, oh, sorry, I thought this will go away, but okay, let me again click uh, template. So by default this shows only the templates within Power Automate which are specific to Microsoft Teams. Okay, so from here we will try to get this particular or try to use this particular template, which is start approval for any of the documents and notify via Teams. Okay, so let us try to add that. So once we are here, okay, this is okay. So this particular flow will connect to all of those applications or services within Microsoft 365. Let's click continue. And let me open up a SharePoint site where I have the information. So let's say inside this particular site, leadership connection, I have a document library, and once we upload any of the site to that part or any of the file to that particular library, we want to have this flow triggered. So I will select this documents library from here. I don't have any folder there, but for example, if you have legal folder which is created there, and only when you add something to that legal folder you want to take action, even you can specify that. And then automatically it will take care of populating this information for you based on under which teams you added this particular flow. So it has taken that Busted Minds as my team, then to the general channel, and this is the by default message that will appear onto a channel whenever there will be any of the file waiting for your approval. Then it will start the approval. It will send out that email. Let me specify my name here so that it will come to my approval. It is taking too long today. Okay, and then once I approve this particular file, in that case it will again post that particular message onto a Teams. And if in case if I don't approve, I reject, in that case again it will just terminate that particular flow. Okay, so a very simple flow, and again if it is no, it will post that rejection message too. So let me save this particular uh, flow, and let us go back to our site. So if I go to site contents and then to that particular document library, which is documents. Okay, so here we will create one new document, a Word document. Okay, come on. Yeah. Okay, let us try to type few things here. So this document, and I will rename this particular document as demo document. Okay, that's it. So we have this demo document which is saved here. So if I refresh this, this is the demo document that we created. Now that let me come back to my flow here. So if I come back to general, you can see this message here. Hi team, Nanddeep has added a new file, demo document. Please review and approve it as soon as possible. Okay. So again, for example, if you go back to flow here, we should be able to do all of those approvals thing from here. It is probably I'm using the online version. I'm not able to see it from here, but if you are opening the desktop version, you should be able to see the approval tab here. And then once you approve, it will post that particular message. So let me check if I can still take it. But no, from the web version, it doesn't allow. But because since I logged in with another Teams account, I won't be able to show that. But as you will show that particular or approve that particular flow, you should be able to get all those messages back to you. Okay. So yeah, let me check still if I can do from it here, but no, at least in the web version it is not allowed, so we won't be able to do it. But okay, so this is how we can we will be able to have the flow directly within our Microsoft Teams. And then the next thing is like how we can use the bot to launch the flows. Okay, so for that, as we have added this particular flow, okay, let me again go back to flow and add it one more time. I should have logged in from okay, from the desktop, but okay, so if I go to flows here, okay, all right, so I can see the flows here. So here are the flows that we created, and here is approvals tab. So for example, if I click approvals, here you will be able to see all of those approvals. So here we have received, sent, and history. So that review demo document is pending for our approval here. So let me duplicate this particular tab so that we can come back to that Teams and see the approval process. And meanwhile, let's approve this particular task. Hmm. So this is the comment that we are posting. Let's click confirm and the flow should run. Okay, all right. So now that it has successfully recorded the response what we gave. If I again go back to my Teams here and then to the general tab, you can see that the flow has posted the message here that the user has approved this particular document with comments. Approved document looks good. So you can see that I didn't had to move between Microsoft Teams and Power Automate as two separate applications, but just by staying within Microsoft Teams, I was able to do this entire thing. Okay, so let's see what are the other things what we can do. Okay, so first thing is flow bot. So what is mean by flow bot is it is the bot which will help us to interact with the flows. Those are inside our Power Automate flows. Okay, so the one limitation here is that it will only show the flows which can be manually triggered. Okay, so here it is asking what can I do. So if you click, there are many options. First one is the documentation. Then we have list flows, run flows, and describe flow. So if I click list flows and send this to flow bot, in that case it will reply me back with the flows which are available. But at the moment I don't have any of the flow which is matching this particular criteria that this particular flow bot will show only flows which can be triggered on a schedule basis or which can be manually triggered with no inputs. So since I don't have it is not showing that, otherwise it can show those flows, and even we will be able to trigger those. So that was about this particular flow bot. And Yeah, let me check. Or for example, if you want, but okay, since we don't have any flow, we won't be able to do it. But yeah, this will help you to have the bot which can help you to trigger the trigger the flows, as well as get the information about those flows. Okay. Next thing, like we will see like how we can use these flows or Power Automate to post the adaptive cards to Microsoft Teams, because right now that what we are doing here is just the plain communication using bots. But for example, as a user, we want to take a control and post some interactive adaptive cards to Microsoft Teams to get the information. How can we do that? So for that, let me go back to my flows. I already have one flow designed. uh, and yeah, for example, let me close out the other things. If you don't know how to get started with adaptive cards, you can go to adaptivecards.io, and from here you can read out this documentation schema explorer. There are a few samples available which you can directly start using. For example, if you want to show weather information, stock inputs, or input form is the mostly one which is being used. So this is how you can create your input forms and use it as a message to be posted inside Microsoft Teams within Power Automate. If you want, if your requirements are a bit different than the form which you are seeing right now, you can click try it yourself, and from here you will be able to change the look and feel of this particular form. So if you are comfortable playing with JSON, in that case you can do it directly from the JSON. Otherwise, you can even do it from here. So for example, if you want to add some more text block inside this particular column, you can click this and the text block will be available to you, and then you can from there you will be able to uh, play with your card. So now you can see that I'm able to add the text block. Okay, for example, if you don't need any of the things, select that, remove away, and your card will be ready to use. And then we have this card payload editor, which is giving you the JSON, which is the end outcome of this particular design. You can take this particular end outcome and you can use it to post it to Microsoft Teams. And here are some sample data which you are seeing here, just to see like when the data gets added to that particular adaptive card, how does it looks like. Okay, so if I go back, I already have one flow created. Let me edit that particular flow. Even you can see that I was able to edit this flow within my Microsoft Teams. I didn't have to go to Power Automate portal to do this. So this is just the manually triggered flow with no inputs, and then I'm just pasting this particular adaptive cards to my team. Okay, so let's see like how that adaptive card look like. But here is some information which I want to get from user, and once the user takes some action on this particular adaptive card by clicking the option which they want to opt for, we are sending one email back to the user who has created that particular flow, and we will get the information on what poll response we got from that particular user. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me run this particular Power Automate flow. Okay, so this Power Automate flow will just post an adaptive card to Microsoft Teams, and we will click run flow, which is done. And okay, I just forgot where I created. Okay, but yeah, it was created onto the busted minds. So here you can see that this particular flow has come up, and now that it is asking this poll request, and it is asking us the preferred car model. So maybe you can choose anyone between this. Let's say we select Honda, click submit. So that response will be recorded, and then we should be able to get one email into our Outlook, which was the last step of our workflow. So let us see, did we got, yeah. So now that we have this new poll response, and the poll response was Honda, and which was submitted by this particular user. So even you can use this Power Automate flow to post the adaptive cards to Microsoft Teams. Okay. Um, all right. So one thing which comes to everyone's mind, like what about the data security compliance whenever we are playing around with Microsoft Teams and Power Platform. So the Power Platform in Teams is protected by Microsoft 365 security. All of those identity and access management, threat protection, information protection, security management will be carried out by Microsoft 365 itself. So you don't have to take any extra measures for any of your information protection or threat protection explicitly for this particular kind of integration. All right. And just to recap, like we can use this Power Automate to automate the routine task with Microsoft Teams. And then there are 300 plus cloud and on-premises data services which you can connect to build your flows or Power Automate workflows. And you can then natively use those inside Microsoft Teams. Second thing that we explored is like even you can build your custom apps with Power Apps, and then even you can host those Power Apps natively inside your Microsoft Teams, and even you can um, use those as a personal app, or even you can set those policies for your app so that it will be available as a personal app within your Microsoft Teams. And then lastly, even you can use the Power BI along with Microsoft Teams to uncover the insights of your data. You can build your reports, create your custom dashboards, and have them hosted in Microsoft Teams. So those are the things which you can make use of. So here are a few of the resources which you can start using to read more about Teams, uh, Power Automate, Power Platform, and then how you can integrate this Power Platform with Microsoft Teams. Okay, so with that, I think I'm covered most of the things which I wanted to talk. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Nanddeep. So, folks, if at all you have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and start asking them. Thank you.